I appreciate it. I do. I understand. You lost your child. That upset you. I don't hold what you did against you. That's not my point at all.
It sounds such a weak excuse. I was ill, so I stole. Before it happened to me, before I did it myself, and I used to read about other women in the papers, I used to think what a poor excuse it was.
Perfectly obvious you're not a thief.
What one does once, one can do again.
You mustn't talk like that.
I'm trying to face the truth about myself. It isn't easy.
It isn't easy for anyone.
That's what the magistrate said to me. You have to face up to these things.
You should have never been sent to jail. It's ridiculous.
There'd been a lot of shoplifting going on. Someone had to be made an example of. I was to be a warning to other women, a deterrent. An odd reason for sending someone to prison.
It's in the past. Let's forget it. I know that's easy said, but it's the only way.
If a nightmare keeps coming back at you, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't banish it from your mind. It just comes of its own accord, and you can't forget it. All you can do is hope you will.
I want you to let me help you. The only thing that upset me was, why didn't you tell me instead of getting the vicar to do it?
How could I have started, Henry? I mean, just think about it. How do you start telling a man you're a convicted thief?
Don't call yourself that.
Oh, how else can I describe myself and what happened? That's the trouble. No matter how I put it, it looks like special pleading, trying to excuse myself to you.
You are a special case.
Everyone in prison's a special case, Henry. They're either not guilty or they've some extenuating circumstance to plead. I lost my child. Others, people do the strange things for the strangest reasons.
You want to marry me?
I don't know, Henry. That's the truth. I really don't know what I'm going to do.
Your dad got about a bit, didn't he?
He never interfered with other people's business. They wouldn't leave him alone.
He did, you know. Your dad. He wasn't like you say. He got me going once.
My dad? Got you going over what?
Well, you see, I had this girl, sort of going out with her, you know. She had this nice hair. We were up by the Abbey. Anyway, your dad was looking. He wouldn't go away. I had to chase him. He didn't half run.
Jim, my father wouldn't do anything like that.
I run after him.
Jim, he would not spy on anyone. He hated anything like that. He spent years in a mental home being spied on. He wouldn't do it to anyone else.
Well, I didn't say spying, just looking.
Who got there first? You or him?
Well, we did, of course. We wouldn't have gone where he was, would we?
So he just came up and looked at you?
Well, Sharon saw him first, you know, just looking up.
Sharon?
I won't do anything to her. Just a bit of fun, playing about.
Sharon Crosswaite?
She liked me. She was a bit stuck up, you know, her mother. But she liked me. Who'll that be?
Jack, I expect.
We've got one boy, one girl!
Oh, Joe, that's absolutely marvellous!
Hey, steady on, I'm not father, you know. What are you doing here?
Helping.
Does Jack know that?
Don't you two like each other?
If you wanted any help, you should have asked me.
But I didn't. He volunteered.
They're all down on me in this village.
Ah, don't be daft. No one's down on you.
Poor Jim lost his job. He wanted something to do. Isn't that right, Jim?
Aye, that's about it.
Anyway, we're having a drink down at Woolpack. Sort of wet babies' heads. I came to take you along.
Can Jim come?
It's a family affair.
It's all right. I don't want to come anyway, thanks.
I won't be gone very long.
Yeah, you're not going to leave him here on his own, are you?
You won't hurt anything.
Well, I don't think Jack would like that.
Look, Jim, this is Jack's
It's all right. You want me to
house.
go?
It's no reflection on you, Jim.
No, it's not
just...
your fault.
Isn't he liked in Beckendale?
Well, you never know where you are with him. Can be a bit odd at times.
Oh.
There's not wrong, is it?
No. That's what they used to say about my dad. Come on.
There you are now, to the proud new father.
Ah, here.
And the mother.
Oh, saving that for another drink.
Oh, nay, let's have them both together and done with.
Well, here's to them then. All four of them.
Good luck, Matt.
He's going to need it. Now then, what about the names? May as well sort that out.
Oh, I'm not getting into that.
Oh, you've got to face it. I mean, you've got to call him
Well,
something.
it'll be up to Peg.
Samuel. Boy has to be Samuel. You ought to be a Samuel.
Well, I had a lucky escape, didn't I?
First boy on Pearson's side is always Samuel. Eh?
Aye, but he's not a Pearson, he's a Skilbeck.
But he's in Pearson line.
Wouldn't fancy being called Sam Sugden.
Here's to your uncle, Matty.
Ah, cheers, Stan.
Were the twins doing all right then?
Fine, couldn't be
Good
better.
name, Sam.
Good excuse for Dad to get drunk then, eh? I'll be on the table if it were me.
Don't
Tom, it's not you.
Dan, do be careful of your beer.
Hey, no charge for it,
I
eh?
didn't come here for a bath.
Hush, Dad.
Push him.
Free beer! I'll set you another one up, eh? Another drink for Grandad, Amos. Beg pardon. Great Grandad.
Great Grandad, great fool he is. Half a pint is more nuisance than a cat in a pigeon loft. I mean.
Trouble with children, they grow up, leave home.
I think it'll be quite a while before the Skilbecks are faced with that problem.
It's on you before you think. Once past 30, the years gallop. Well, I'm retired. But I find it hard to accept that I'm no longer a young man.
Hardly retired. Not with the plans I hear you have for the farm.
Got to do something. One thing I envy your husband. You too come to that. Faith. To be sure of what life's about. Must be a great comfort, that.
Even the faithful have their troubles, Mr. Wilkes.
Oh, yes, I realise that. But the essentials. Faith, not doubting.
My husband holds services in a church which is often 3/4 empty. He usually preaches to less than a dozen people. It's not only middle-aged industrialists who have to worry about the future.
Beginning to lighten up a bit now, aren't they?
Matt Skilbeck seems a very nice man.
Aye, salt of the earth. Heaven knows what Emmerdale farm would have done without him keeping at it. Getting lively now.
Grandad's threatening to play his whistle. Have you got a music licence?
I'll see it over the door if they take time to look.
Oh, I've always got my eyes down. Humility. Same again.
You do the beers, I'll do shorts.
Right. You can play it, really.
As soon as I can think of something, I'll show you.
When do I get my book back?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll bring it back tomorrow.
Finding it hard going?
I don't like it very much.
Well, that's honest enough.
It's just not my kind of life.
Not mine now, either.
Mr. Wilkes not with you tonight?
I'm going off on his plate settling about the fire, I expect.
He's staying with Vicar, isn't he?
As far as I know. Like it here, do you?
She's got a comfortable room and no complaints, that right?
I think he's going to play something.
That's it, Joe. Now, you all know that. That's the Garden of Eden. So let's hear it in the chorus. But wait a minute. Let me get a note, Joe. In the Garden of Eden a long time ago, there was something that Adam and Eve didn't know, till Eve took a bite of an apple to see if she could find out how to make three.
Hey-ho, come drink up with me. We want a baby in our family.
So the news got around and I'm happy to say they've kept the tradition right up to today. A man takes a wife and she takes him to bed, at which point it's best nothing more should be said.
Hey-ho, come drink up with me. We got 2 babies in our family.
And about a year after the nuptials take place, or it could be much sooner if married in haste, there's a fine bouncing baby to make it quite plain that old human nature's been at it again.
Hey-ho, come drink up with me. We've got 2 babies in our family.
Can't you get it? Can't you get it down in one piece?
It's less of a strain this way.
Well, it seems to me you're making a right meal of it.
Oh, well, come on then. Help us eat it. Got you there, Grandad.
Look, there's a knack of getting them things down. It's the way you hold them.
It makes no odds if weight's not right.
Look, if you'll listen to a bit of advice, Matt, you're going to make it much easier for yourself. Now, listen. Get hold of one end at the bottom and get
Grandad, I'm surprised at you. Bottom's a word we don't use in this house.
If I were a few years younger, I'd take a scrap to thine. Oh, all right, then. Do it your own way. I shan't bother again. I always think they know better.
Seems to me best thing you can do is to move in with us. You can have Matt and Peggy's room.
When'll they be moving?
Matt and Joe are shifting furniture now. What they have, that is. Be a bit lost in Jameson's place.
Hold on.
Takes time for new names to stick.
How long will Peggy be in hospital?
Oh, not more than a few days. They don't keep them so long now. But the room will be empty from tonight. Matt's moving over straight away. There is a question of a bed, though. The room will be empty.
Bed's the one thing that didn't get saved. I'll run over to Leeds or Bradford and buy one.
All insured, is it?
Oh, no worries there. Can't stick insurance companies, but they're a necessary evil. Well, I'll move in tomorrow if that's agreeable. If I can get to bed in time.
If you're going bedvine, you could run over with Matt. He's got to get a few bits and pieces to make place livable in.
That's about the lot then.
Oh, you've done, have you?
All right, all's out except curtains.
Right. Well, I'll get my things in then. Well, you'll be on your own tonight.
Hey, that's a thought.
What?
What are we going to do about curtains?
Oh, shouldn't worry you. No near enough hawthorns to see in.
Oh, I can't see Peg looking at it in that way.
Is that all they got?
That's why Matt's got to buy some things before Peggy gets home.
Cost of it, though, starting from scratch.
Got to start somewhere. It'll be easy payments. That's a help.
Ah. Look, I don't want to pry, but how are they fixed?
They've saved a bit. Not a lot, but enough to start with.
Be a bit expensive, though. With twins on their hands, they'll need a pram and such like as well.
It's not easy for young uns nowadays. But at least they've got a roof over their heads. Come on, I'll make a cup of tea.
Ma, did Peg say what she had in mind about curtains?
Said nothing to me.
Oh, it's going to be a problem. There's a lot of windows.
Best ask her when we go over. I could run some up if you can get material. Have you measured them at all?
Well, I never gave it a thought.
Matt, I've been thinking. You know all that stuff of mine in the barn?
Aye.
Well, I've not been needing it for a long time. Why don't you take it and use it?
It's very kind of you, Henry, but...
No buts, please. Annie's letting me move in here, so as I'll be using your room, you take my furniture. I'm not giving it, you mind. It's an indefinite loan. Sort of thank you for helping save it.
Oh, Joe helped as well.
Well, if Joe gets married and you've done with it, he can borrow it.
Oh, but, well, there's a whole load of stuff out there.
Well, I can't leave it there in the barn, can I? I'd have to store it. So you taking it is saving me money. Save you rushing about buying things you don't want. That's sensible, isn't it?
If it were me, I'd jump at it.
Well...
That's settled then. One or two pieces I'll need here, but you can take the rest. Now then, let's have a cup of tea, and then we'll get over and sort it out.
Any curtains?
Joe!
Just asking. You were worrying Matt.
There's a couple of pairs, I think. But they'll need washing or cleaning or something.
I'll see to that. Where's Dad?
Moving his stuff up to his new room.
Oh, mashed tea.
I'll go and give her the good news.
Hard at it, I see.
Who's looking after the forge?
Young lad named Eric. Happy to earn some pocket money. And very skilled at serving petrol. More than I can admit to. Yeah, it's looking good.
There is a question of furniture.
Oh, buy what you think's needed. Including a decent desk.
We ought to go shopping together.
Right, we'll do that. When?
Tomorrow.
Right. That's the date. Providing Eric's agreeable. Where's your helper? Joe told me you had a gentleman assistant.
Do you know him, Jim Latimer?
Seen him about.
He just came in. He's a funny boy.
He's turned Joe's eyes green.
I like Joe.
He likes you. How are you getting on with Mrs. Crosswaite?
Oh, great. It's like a home from home.
Just mother and daughter, eh? How often did your dad come home?
Why are you so curious about him, my dad?
Well, I've got a contract which requires me to deliver 1 book a year. To be brutally frank, I was stuck. Really stuck. And your dad came along, moved in here, and I started writing about him.
Did he know?
Doubt it. Couldn't read very well. Could he?
Before his accident, he was a great reader. So I'm told. But you tell me, you were writing about him.
That's it. He had an original outlook. Balmy in a way, but logical and refreshing. Very refreshing. So I started to build this character based on your father. It was all coming along very well. Then, well, you can't have a novel where the principal character dies in chapter 3. And the publishers are getting impatient. When he died, my inspiration went. I thought you might be able to fill me in about his life.
I don't think he'd want me to.
I think he would have told me himself eventually. I would be grateful if you'd help me.
I can't promise. I'll think about it.
Hello, Mrs. Tully.
It's a bit parky this morning, isn't it?
Oh, 'tis that. But seasonable.
You're keeping busy, I see.
Oh, well, I like to have it looking nice. Summers don't bother very much, but I've always had a clean house.
I'm sure. And, Mr. Tolly, is he keeping well?
Well, except for his legs. He has these pains. Doctor gives him stuff, but I can't see that it helps him much. Pills is all right for some things, but for pains in the joints, you want something you can rub on. Embrocation. That's what you want. Embrocation. Then it sinks in, right into the bones, oiling them. That's what embrocation does. Oils you. Oh, getting 80, you need oiling a bit.
But not you, Mrs. Tolly, I'm sure. Give my regards to Mr. Tolly, will you?
Aye, I will that. Embrocation. You can't beat it.
Hello. It's Jim Latimer, isn't it?
Oh, hello, Vicar.
I was very glad to see you in church on Sunday.
Yeah, I looked in, yes.
Aren't you at work today?
No, I got laid off.
Oh, I am sorry. Have you nothing in the offing? No prospects?
Well, I'm looking around, you know.
Yes, well, I hope something turns up soon. And I hope we shall see you in church again.
Oh, you will. I'm going to come every Sunday. You can rely on it. I've made my mind up.
Good. Good, I'm delighted. And if there's anything I can do in any way to help, do come and ask, won't you?
Oh, I will. I will.
Good. Don't forget, anything. Bye, Jim.
Bye.
See you Sunday.
Can't beat embrocation. Best thing there is.
Do you think she's all right, Annie? Do you, really?
Oh, Sharon's a sensible girl. She wouldn't do anything stupid.
But why hasn't she written? It's not fair, Annie. It's not fair.
Ah, that puzzles me, I must say. Whatever else she might do, she's not the sort of girl to hurt anyone.
No.
Hello, love. Joe said he was going to see you.
Not till later. Are you all right, Mrs. Crosswaite?
You'd like a cup of tea, wouldn't you?
Thanks. Has something happened to upset you?
Just our Sharon, that's all.
Oh. Have you had some news of her?
No. It was talking about Peggy and her babies and Annie being a grandmother. Just brings it all back.
Was she very friendly with Jim Latimer?
Who?
Sharon.
With Jim Latimer? She wouldn't look at him. Not Sharon. She had a bit of pride in herself.
Oh, well, I don't know him very well, of course.
What made you think Sharon had been friendly with him?
He said... We were working. He's been giving me a hand in the old mill, you know. And with my staying here, he just said he knew her. Was Joe at the farm when you left?
He said a bit more than that, didn't he, love?
Nothing, really. Only that they'd been out together.
Sharon wouldn't go out with the likes of him.
I dare say he was boasting, you know, showing off. Boys do.
Yeah, that's true enough.
He hasn't been round village lately, has he? I mean, he's been away somewhere.
He's been at Houghton, but he got laid off, so he came home.
Oh, he's always worked at Houghton.
He was staying with his aunt. To be near his work, I suppose.
Aye, very like. They're a lazy lot, Latimers.
Oh, Ben's not all that bad. It's Hilda, it is. Hey, Beryl, come to think of it, I have seen your Sharon talking to Jim.
Oh, I'm not saying she never said hello to him.
This was a while back. I met you with Sharon down on Green. That's it. It was the day after she'd been out late that night, and you kept her from work, remember?
That's right. You got out at Land Rover, and Matt was driving it.
That's it. And after we chatted a bit, you went into Norris's.
I came out and Sharon was talking to Jim Latimer. Hey, he said he'd got day off too.
I don't know anything about that. But I know I happened to look back and saw them talking. I remember it plain as plain.
No, she'd have nothing to do with him. Not that way.
I'm not saying that she would. But if they were friendly, happen she might have... Kids often know more about what other kids are up to than parents do.
That's right. No, that's really right. Shall I ask him?
Can't see to do any harm.
Tell you what, ask him to tea. You ask him to tea and we can have a chat.